Hello gamers and geeks, and welcome to another roleplay session, TTRPG stuff. It's a homebrew campaign, Blood Feud, and we're on episode 54 now. It's been a lot of fun. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course you're welcome to join the Games and Geekery Discord server. There's a link in the description below. But before we get to that, would the players like to tell us about their characters?
Sure. Hi guys, I play Rika. I'm the true Dragonborn wizard. Wizard artificer. Who's ready to save the world or go home and take a nap. He hasn't decided yet. And I shall nominate Nightwatch.
Hello, my name is Nightwatch. I am a Twilight Ward person, clerk of the Praise me. I have my daughter Morrison with me. I'm still cold. But I can turn into a bear.
Turn into a bear.
I can go next.
Okay, cool.
I am Rob. I play Malrock Doomrider in this, a Goliath Paladin, who swore to a warlock deity person but does not want to follow through.
Who's next? Blood Dancer? Keezer?
I'll go next.
Cool.
Hello, I am playing Blood Dancer, the sassy half-elf, half-orc, who is also cold and, well, it's probably a bit warmer in the tiny hut, but he's still going to complain he's cold. I'm also
What's the matter, Blood Dancer? Are you suffering from some shrinkage?
I am also playing the Danger Noodle, who is probably going to be spending a good amount of time sleeping, because dragons do that.
Mm-hmm. And they're probably going to disappear back to their own plane as soon as they get bored.
Probably.
Keezer.
I'm playing the ex-blood fighter who could care less about it being cold, because that just allows me to make improvised weapons from the frozen blood of my enemies.
Wow.
Okay, Mr. Edgelord.
Yeah. And normally Scarlett would be joining us, but she's been delayed by a tardy taxi. So,
The best kind.
The best kind?
Yeah.
Surely you'd want your taxi to be on time.
It's a joke.
Okay.
I never used a taxi before.
Yeah, because you're young, so you use an Uber instead, don't you?
I've never used a Uber either.
Wow. Okay.
You've never traveled very far, then, have you? Or
Oh no, I've traveled across the country before. I've just always had my own vehicle.
Fine. La-di-da.
I mean,
Or I walk to places I need because I live in a small ass town. So
no, the reason I say that is because there are certain places I will not drive in. Even if I could, I won't. I don't want to drive in major cities.
Yeah. There's also, occasionally, you may want to enjoy yourself, in which case driving afterwards would be a bad idea.
yeah, I'm too young, so
Fair. Anyway, what happened last time we played?
We had a big fight with some dumbass hypocrites.
Yeah.
We figured out how to. Rita teleported us from the middle of the snowfields to right outside the Helsingers keep. They invited us in. We had a bit of a conversation. During that, some things were said that made them think that we were in league with the Death God. And a fight broke out. And during the fight, we found out that they were wielding weapons that were empowered by necrotic energy. Which, if you're fighting against the forces of darkness, why are you wielding necrotic weaponry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we beat them down, and some people sort of figured out that the captain was absolutely full of shit because his sword is very, very much like a Death Knight's sword.
Yep.
And the other people around were wielding vampiric halberds.
Yeah.
And so we feel a little less upset about having
Slaughtered them all.
beat them up because,
Yes.
they weren't good people.
No. If anybody's
then,
watching the stream and wondering what I'm doing, a fly crawled into my Mountain Dew bottle. I don't know if you can see it buzzing around inside. Yeah, it's.
Well,
but yeah, I've got a fly trapped in a Mountain Dew bottle now.
Was there any Mountain Dew left?
A tiny dribble.
Okay, so it's not actually affecting your ability to drink your drink.
No, my drink is drunk.
Okay. After the fight, or during the fight, some shadow creatures showed up to either help or hinder or something, and we decided that we kind of needed to take a break. And somebody set up a tiny hut, and we all fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. While the Gloomstalkers continued to pick off the rest of the Helsinger death fights.
Yep. While the two forces of darkness clashed against each other.
Yes.
Because we are the bulwark against the darkness, while we wield the darkness.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
use the weapons of the enemy against the enemy, right?
Yeah, because that's super effective. Not in this case.
It's called a necessary evil, and we do it a lot in our party. So
Not on purpose. It just happens because people just die around us for no reason.
The fly is free, Sean. The fly is free.
no reason whatsoever. I say, staring at Queeza.
Anyway, so yes, you all had a long rest in the tiny hut while war continued to rage around you.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you would have done with your downtime?
We discussed the child-rearing practices of the orcs.
Oh, I DM'd you what I plan to do with my downtime, but that we have to. Gotta wait till next session. We'll respond to it because it was before the character creation stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a long time ago. Or at least a lot of conversation ago.
Blood Dance, chatting about orc culture and occasionally banging the side of his tiny hut when one of those bats decide to perch on it.
They're not bats.
Whatever they are, he bangs on the side of his tiny hut when they try and perch on it.
They're too big for that.
Will you stop trying to... Blood Dancer, will you please stop banging on the hut? You make us look like we're in a cage.
Aren't we technically in a cage? We're hiding from those things. We're kind of stuck here.
That doesn't mean we have to act like animals.
I am literally a cat right now, says Blood Dancer, shifting into cat form.
Yeah.
I'm allowed
I'll
to
just
act
go.
like
I look like a tabaxi. So am I.
no, like Blood Dancer is in the domestic cat form. I'm allowed to act like an animal. I literally am one right now.
Okay.
He says, putting his paws out.
While you're having this conversation, does anybody notice that Rika appears to be praying?
I don't know what you're doing, Rika, but it can't be what I think it is because you're not religious.
He shrugs at that, like...
You shrug?
He's never said he's not religious. He said he doesn't follow your gods. There's a difference between that.
Malrock is saying, did you give up your sinful ways?
He doesn't respond, but his eyebrows are and how does Nightwatch do this with this group?
How does Nightwatch what?
She doesn't want to stay with Daddy.
He's got his brow furrowed as they're making this comment. He goes, "How does Nightwatch pray with this group?"
It doesn't matter, baby, because you're going to be here with Mom. Well, Daddy goes and gets busy.
He's
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So you're mentally asking, how does Nightwatch pray with this group?
Oh, it's not an ask. It's more so a thought of that's crossing as they're like trying to talk to him, like
while they're trying to focus on communicating with the deity. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, what? How is this is a lot harder than I expected.
Rika,
Yes.
roll a d100.
Okay. $73.
Very nice. You don't hear anything, you don't feel anything, but nevertheless you have faith that your prayer has been heard. What do you do?
There's a look of surprise, like, it's actually, like, it's the first time he's actually given a prayer in, I think 30 years was the last time. And then he pulls out the box and looks at it.
Uh-huh. He pulls out the box.
Yeah. He looks at it, and then looks around at everything that's going on, and he puts it back, like, maybe not the later. I mean, you can ask him.
Ask who? What?
Rob goes by who?
Yeah, in context?
I'm assuming in context to who answered my prayer.
Oh.
Because he's never talked about being religious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who heard his prayer? I'm not telling you. That's up to him.
Yeah. And you gotta ask. No ask, no answer.
What you praying about? Meow.
To one of my family's gods.
Oh, which one? Is it my one?
No, it's not yours. Old god. Her name's Zorquian.
Religion?
Go for it. Is it a murder god, says Malrock?
No, motor god. No, that's I have to check. Damn it.
You don't know?
No, of the pantheon that he's referring to. That's no.
Okay, you got a 17. So, Zark 1 is an obscure and ancient dragon god. One of the ones that actually.
What it says is they're still around kicking. So, yeah, that's my response to when you say the god of death. I go, no, that's null.
You hear null? No, I didn't know. Exactly.
No,
Say the name Null.
yeah. Rob has asked, is it a murder god to Zerkara?
No.
And I said, no, that's null.
Oh, the murder god is null? Okay.
He's the god of death, so that's like there's no there. Let's see. Yeah, he's the closest to death if you exclude Tiamat.
What were you saying, Anthony, about the dragon god?
So they are the god. They're the god of dragonness. Of they embody everything that is draconic. Whether that's chromatic, metallic, or gem, it doesn't fucking matter. It's all about power and pride and status and a complete disrespect and disregard of gods. Which is ironic.
You see Blood Dancer look slightly excited at that because he likes dragons. Dragons are cool.
I guess I say what I remembered. Rika, question. Aren't you human? Why would you worship a dragon god?
As you say that, he blinks at you, a slow blink, and then he looks down on himself.
He's not been.
I'm not a dragon. I'm not human anymore, Nightwatch.
Yeah, but why you would suddenly know about the dragon gods and worship them is a little strange. But
Not he's in background. He studied almost forbidden and general things. As for worship, he worshipped another pantheon, but he thinks it's more appropriate to worship the dragon pantheon if he's a dragon.
okay.
And I was going down the list, and I'm like, Tiamat's off the board, no. And this dragon god is the kind of one that would somewhat be okay with the party.
Rika, do you consider yourself to have an alignment?
Yeah, he's chaotic. I think I set it to chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral, okay.
It was, I don't remember what it was before, but as a Chaos Dragon, they're always chaotic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's more of, he'll do what needs to be done. And
Yep. By the way, the suggested domains, yeah, it's funny that you said, no, he's not a death god. The suggested domains are Death and Tempest. Anyway, favoured weapon is teeth. Blood Dancer fangirls.
Does Big Dragon God would Blood Dancer have heard of this one?
Do a religion check.
Okay, Blood Dancer, what is your religion like? Probably not very good.
Bearing in mind that
It's
you're also a Chai Pan.
Yeah, he is. So would that be with advantage or just a lower DC?
Roll your d20 plus 2 and I'll tell you if you've passed.
13.
No.
Blood Dancer isn't necessarily educated, so...
Yeah, because most of the dragons that you were taught about was the dragon clans of Chai Pan.
Ooh, I've never heard of that guy before. I only really know about the Chai Pan dragons. What are they like? Tell me more. Meow.
Does he have a car?
Like, does he have a fancy cart?
Is at this point I should actually make a religion roll to see how much of the pantheon he's aware of?
Sure.
I mean, it's a famous pantheon because it's what Tiamat comes from.
Oh! Would Blood Dancer know about Tiamat?
Vaguely, maybe. It's, yeah, not really. Okay.
20.
Zane, however, would know
It's the brother to Tia Bob. That's Tiamat.
You would know about the time of dragons. It was believed that it was Zorquan who'd influenced the dragons' apathy towards God during the time of dragons. Yeah. And that he was believed to have had a castle in the prime material plane somewhere.
Huh.
But yeah, that he belongs to the Draconic Pantheon, and he's the one that he's not the head of the Pantheon. That's Asgarath, but he's one of the most respected. He's the dragon of dragonness.
Yeah.
Oh. Quick question. I'm guessing Blood Dancer would have heard of Saudior if he's canon in your world.
A god of gem dragons and psionics. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Blood Dancer would ask Rika, do you know anything about Saudior? That's the coolest one. I don't know about the others, but I know Saudior's the coolest. That's the gem dragon god.
I guess that's another religion check.
Yeah, go for it.
14. I don't know much about Saldiar.
You know that they're to do with psionics, and you don't care.
Yeah. Not really. My magic doesn't fall under their stuff, so I never took any note of them.
However, Nightwatch has heard of Sardior, the god of gem dragons and psionics. And yeah, a unique ruby dragon. So to Sardior to the gem dragons is as Bahamut to the metallics and Tiamat to the chromatics. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
She's kind of the gem dragon equivalent of their god, since they came from her. Or how Tiamat and Bahamut are for the chromatic and metallics. I explain.
Who is this Tiamat and who is this Bahamut? And chromatics worship the gem dragon.
Yeah, the closest thing you would have to a common god would be Zorquan. Yeah. There is no god of chaos.
So I wrote,
Sorry.
Go on.
go ahead.
Tiamat is a five-headed dragon that lives in the abyss.
The goddess of vengeance and evil dragonkind.
Yes. Where Bahamut is presumably looks like a normal dragon, but he represents like all the good and
The god
goodness of metallic dragons.
enlightened justice and good dragonkind.
Mhm.
Originally known as Zymor, apparently. XYN.
Oh.
Didn't know that. Less confusing name than Bahamut, because I know so many people who accidentally call him Baphomet.
Oh my. So I'm going down the list of dragon gods,
Yeah.
and there's known dead powers that of dragon gods that didn't have a name, and there's one, a deity of mating. I think that's the one that Dancer would know about.
Well, no, Blood Dancer's all about Mazoku.
Yeah.
Because that's their dragon.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I like that there is a dragon called Garrix, like spelled like Gary X, who is the god of fire, destruction, and renewal. That's probably the closest to a chaos god that
True.
that they have. Yeah.
That is totally a Gary Gygax self-insert.
Of course it is.
Or an edgelord name to try and sound cool when you're in school.
It came from the Draconomicon, so
Yeah.
it was before. Right? Yeah.
After, because
Yeah.
Guy-
After.
yeah.
His symbol is amazing.
Anyway, we're being distracted by this list of dragon names.
Yep, on track. How are we going to get home? And if not, we're going to get home, what are we going to do?
So, I know of a way to get home. I found it out when that jerk of a leader sent me to cast that spell on me. But there's a slight issue. I know what spell he used, but it can be unpredictable in this moment.
Who picked up his sword, by the way?
I picked it up and I gave it to Rob. Malrock.
What did Malrock do with it? Malrock?
Sorry, what was that?
You picked up the sword of the commander? Is that right?
Yes.
What did you do with it?
Nothing so far. Isn't it not the Death Knight sword?
It is a Death Knight sword. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and figure out how to either remove his soul or cleanse him.
I think it's quite possible that Malrock, that the Doom Rider is whispering, "Let me at him." Let me at him.
I will ask the rest of the party what they think of that idea.
It would solve the issue, but I don't know how I feel about Doom you getting stronger. No offense.
Yeah.
He can wipe out. He could.
Yeah. Are you still the champion of Alor?
Malra.
Eat the soul. Increase the strength. Gain more power.
Someone take up Kiza's milk.
No.
Yeah, are you okay, Liza? You kind of seem very edgelord lately.
If you don't behave, Kiza, you're going to be put in the naughty corner, says Blood Dancer.
Even Rika managed to put his box of death away.
Yeah. Hey, his flaw may be that he can't resist prying into forbidden secrets, but he's intelligent.
Okay, are you, Blood Dancer is reaching for the Death Knight sword.
He misses Black Razor. Someone stop him.
Grab.
Alright, contested grapple check.
Can I provide advantage?
For whom?
For Night Watch.
Sure.
No.
But
My roleplay... Oh, go ahead, Rob.
it's not the way you think it is. He will regenerate into your body if you wield it.
Sad Blood Dancer noises.
My roleplay for help is I pull out a spray bottle and I spray Blood Dancer.
Meow!
Blood Dancer, are you trying to wriggle free, or are you letting it happen?
I've just been spray bottled, so I'm going to run behind Keys.
At the moment, you're being grappled by Night Watch. Are you wriggling free? Or trying to?
Not wriggling 3. Will accept fate, but will definitely growl.
Okay.
I should get more water spells if this calms Blood Dancer down.
Hiss.
Okay, Malrock, do you have a way to dispel the magic on the sword? Or would you like me to take care of it?
I'm just going to double check my spells and see if I have anything useful.
Sounds good.
Now could be a good time to test that prayer. No.
The idea is my other side directly wants to do whatever it is to compete with this Death Knight soul.
Tries to know Night Watch's land.
Oh! Yeah, Night Watch isn't immune.
Night Watch is metallic.
Okay, so Blood Dancer, you don't have an official bite attack. So let's call it an unarmed strike.
D20 plus...
4.
Okay. Up till this point, Blood Dancer had no idea how to spread his curse. 16.
No.
Yeah, that doesn't get through.
Even without your shield? Okay.
Yeah, I guess be -2, so... Yeah, still be,
19.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have remove curse. Why is Kiza saying I am fine?
Because I thought I'd hit that send much sooner than I did in response to Night Watch asking me a question.
When they were saying you're being weird. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have remove curse. And neither does Night Watch. What are you gonna do?
Night Watch may not have it prepared, but Night Watch could probably prepare it because I'm pretty sure Night Watch is high enough to have access to it.
Yeah, we are about to end a long rest, so you could switch out some spells if you wanted to.
True.
Sure, I'll go look at my spells.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to replace Blood Restoration with Remove Curse.
Okay. Yeah, Lesser Restoration hasn't come up.
Mhm.
Well, I'm pretty sure I can do anything Lesser Restoration can do with my Lay on Hand.
Yeah. It's kind of redundant.
Okay.
Nom.
Yeah, you're just biting on a armored hand and achieving nothing. What curse are you referring to, by the way? Blood Dancer.
He's a lycanthrope, so I'm not
Since
sure
when?
if he can.
Since the
Ren-
Blood.
Since what?
Blood Dancer is a were-cat.
Oh, right, yeah. It's not on your character sheet. It's still not on your character sheet, so...
Sorry. Specifically a were-cat.
Yes, you're aware.
He has no idea how to transfer the curse, but nom.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
Marcy hugs the kitty.
Stops nomming the hand and allows the child to hold him.
You're not going to bite Marceline?
No, he would never bite Marceline.
Clearly you don't understand cats.
Think of Blood Dancer as that cat that's an a-hole but understands not to nom on children.
Again. Anyway. So shenanigans ensues. The 8 hours is almost up. Is there anything you want to do while you still have the tiny hut protecting you? Including swapping out spells, praying to deities, sharpening blades.
I swapped out for my Remove Curse, and I will try and use it on the sword. I can't remember if you can cast that ritually or not.
Of course. No, it's not a ritual spell.
Damn. Oh well.
It's gonna burn a 3rd level spell slot. But yeah,
I'm gonna turn a scroll of I want to make a scroll of hold person using my subclass thing.
okay. The remove curse breaks the bond between the soul and the sword.
We can't really interrogate him now, but he's no longer a threat.
Yeah. See, I knew you'd make the right move, Mount Rock.
Yeah, you could have waited until he had reanimated and then interrogated him, but you know.
But we'd have to fight him again.
Probably.
And I don't feel like dealing with the higher hell orb.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now what?
Yeah, now what? Well, I told the party how I know how to get back, but I also want to go explore to see if this place has anything of note.
That might be wise. But we can. But does anyone else have an opinion?
Where do you want to go?
Well, I wanted to go back to our actual home world, whatever it is. I feel like we can't just leave whatever's going on here wildly going.
Well, if we solve the issue here, and then we go home, did we really do anything? Because we don't know what will happen in the future for this world if we leave. What if cultists come back and rise them up again?
I wonder if there's any historical precedent for what might happen to a country after a powerful force moves in, changes everything, and then leaves.
Yeah, there might be. I don't know. Let's check the history books. But we haven't changed that much. We only took down a powerhouse.
I really want to stab Grandma. I just realized what just happened.
What?
We just got sent back and most likely probably caused the big three to more or less get power grab after the power vacuum.
You still think this is in the past, don't you?
No?
So
I think this is in the past, says Blood Dancer. It's just a different timeline.
okay, at least in this timeline, I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
possible. It's possible.
But we do know Grandma is... Well, actually, we don't know, because young Magister, I can never remember his name,
Jim.
Jim mentioned Grandma's still around, but then we have Grandma's great descendant.
Looking at what you've seen so far, it does look like things have happened differently. That whether the big three have any power in this world or not, they're clearly not the powers.
Yeah.
If there is a big three here, they're a completely different big three, and it's not. It's not that this is the past of your world. It's that this is what might have happened in your world if things had just happened a little differently.
I relay that. As much as I hate to say it, after we go through this building, I just wish to just go home.
Yeah, nothing we do here will
Affect you.
So does that mean that I can kill anything I see?
No.
Abyss, no.
When we go home and the gods see how many things you've killed, they'll still judge us.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Nah.
Well, they won't.
Jevil will.
I think we should take the advice of our most religious person and say they will.
And the tiny hut drops.
Yep.
It's cold, it's cold, it's cold. Well, let's get off this mountain for one.
I'm going deeper in the building where there will be more walls. You'll warm up. Don't worry, you'll get your performance back in no time.
They had any? Oh, wow.
Oh wait, I'm being held by a child right now. If I wasn't being held by a child, I'd scratch your nose off, Keezer.
Morrison gives you kisses.
Oh.
Are we looking for a spading or a neutering?
I have the medical knowledge to do that. Just give me the word.
You've all got
Blood
string.
Holds his paw up, realises he's got four toes, not 5. Realises he can't flip you off, and then just flicks his tail at you.
Okay, well, guys, I'd like to visit the library. See what there is.
Let's go. Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Okay.
It's on to kill I go.
Can someone bat him for me?
Okay.
Her for me?
So yeah, checking the rest of the castle for the fortress rather, in the downstairs rooms, you do find a reasonably sized collection of books. Malrock says if you want to go kill the evil in the mountain. Rika doesn't send keys out.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay, so you find their book collection. Books and scrolls, by the way.
Ooh. He looks like a
Kid in a candy store.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, kid in a candy store. As he's rushing.
Happy as a pervert in a pawn shop.
Yep, as a crackhead with his crack dealer. He rushes like, let's go, yes, and is like, picks up 2 books at once and is like, trying to read them at the same time.
Roll luck for me. So 2 d20s. I want to see what sort of. Oh, interesting. Okay. So one of the books is a spell book. The other seems to be a collection of dirty jokes that was handwritten by one of the people in the fortress, one of the Helsingers.
He looks at it and he goes, "Blood Dancer, I have something for you."
Happy pause.
This is an adult book. Marcy can't see this, so I need you back.
Can you let me
I
go?
want to see the book. I want to see the book. I want to see the book.
Once you get a little bit older, Marcy. Okay?
How about those?
Don't set Blood Dancer down and go ask your mom about the birds and the bees, okay? And
Oh, okay. She basically just like drops Blood Dancer and just runs and like jumps on to like Night Watch. Like, hey, Mama, what are the birds and the bees?
There once was a bard from Coal City.
Night Watch turns, like slowly looks at the two of y'all.
I drop the book on Cat Blood Dancer, and then I go to the spell book. Like, don't look at them, and they won't see you. If I can't see them, they can't see me, and they won't know I fucked up.
I see everything.
Oh boy. So anyway, so flipping through this spell book, you find some interesting spells, some of which that catch your eye include Incendiary Cloud, Reverse Gravity, Magic Jar, Create Undead, Dominate Person, Phantasmal Killer. Just from flicking through.
Ooh. My autocorrect went from Magic Jar to Magic Gerald.
Magic Gerald?
Yeah. Different D&D character. Apparently really likes Gerald. He takes it out and he pulls open his bag full of spell books. And he plops it in.
Okay.
And oh, go ahead.
Did you find anything useful, Rika?
I mean, there's some uses to these spells. If you guys want to help search around, who knows what spells they have here that were never made in our world?
Bibbidi wobbidi bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Don't cast that spell, it's forbidden!
You have to actually be able to influence the magical energies, which you know very well that I can only do in one of two very specific ways.
You never know what that spell can do.
So anyway, you're looking around to see if there's any other books, particularly spells that you are not aware of. That you don't know. Okay. Go for it.
Investigation?
Mm-hmm. Are you investigating the book you already found, or are you looking through other books?
He's looking through other books, because there's so many here. If he were to just focus on one, it would take.
Mm-hmm. Roll it.
Yep, and my familiar is going to give me the help action by also going through books. So.
What form does your...
A cat.
Okay. Because if it was a toad, it could hop up to different books and say Reddit. Reddit. Okay. The first book you touch is called the Tome of Talona.
Tome of Talona.
And as it falls out of the bookcase, there's a horrible stink rises up from the book, and it falls open on a page for a spell called Summon Shitlets.
Blood Dancer immediately darts over.
I pick up the book and plug him in with one hand. I'm like, what does this spell do?
It apparently allows you to summon something called shitlets. You'd have to look through the rest of the book to see what those are.
He's looking at this spell book like, do I want to touch something that smells this bad?
You already picked it up.
Yeah. Well, like, further touch it.
Okay.
Rika, you smell like you swam through a sewer.
Yeah, well, that's from this book. Shoot. That's...
Okay, I'll tell you what, do you want have investigate the spell more closely. Roll another investigation.
No, it's the name that's throwing me off. I'm like, why have I felt like I've heard that name before?
Okay, so it turns out that rather than summoning some sort of minor shit elemental, which is what you first assumed it was, what this spell does is summon a disease, which, amongst other things, causes the sufferer to constantly, almost constantly, void their bowels, and the result are these little turd elementals that then run around infecting other people.
That's a dangerous spell. He wraps it up and he shoves it in the bag of cotton he got.
He shoves it where?
he bought a big bag of cotton. No, wool. It was wool.
Oh, you put it in the bag of wool. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, well, if the one spell's that scary, wonder what else is in the book, but I need some way to stop that awful smell.
Does anybody know who Talona is?
I will roll religion.
That is true. What would happen if if I did that to Marcy, would she just have fertile ground wherever she went?
Blood Dancer has no idea. I cast Frozen Underpants on Blood Dancer. That's funny. Alright. Let's see what else you find.
Alright. You know what? I want to cast a spell.
Oh?
I cast Skill Empowerment to give me expertise.
Expertise in investigation?
Yeah.
Alright. 38. Okay. So, you find a scroll that that draws your eye because it appears to be a map. The map clearly shows the area that you think of as Skelbony being marked as the territory of... Fuck. Raziel. There we go. That the mountains that you are standing in and the Sands of the Lost are all clearly marked as the territory of Hula. And the Elven lands seem to belong to an entity called Ishfire.
Ishfire. Have I ever heard of Ishfire in our world? Like, as a legend like the Wendigo?
Nightwatch will know him.
Did show any of the others this map?
Yeah, he's looking at it, it's like, so that makes sense. Who the hell is Braziel and Ishfire? Because I haven't made that yet.
Braziel is a very nice shopkeeper.
No, he's not. He's very bad when it comes to bargaining. And also has a tendency to let stuff slip when it comes to items where you can find them somewhere else. He also might be a devil.
No. He's not a devil.
Yes, he is.
He's a saint.
What kind of Kool-Aid have you drunken this week?
This explains everything. He's always high, that's it. She's always high.
Who's Ishfire? And I think we've met Braziel once or twice, haven't we?
He has shops in many places.
I've never met the dude.
How would you know?
Me?
I'm pulling you like...
Oh.
I met Ishfire, and I think he might be a dragon. I think he is a dragon.
Interesting.
I think he went off to Chaipan and meeting some is getting busy.
I see. Interesting. So we have a Wendigo, we have a shopkeeper, and we have a dragon. in charge of these plans.
Well, at least one of them is sensible, says Blood Dancer. Dragon cough.
You also find amongst the scrolls detailed plans on how to make a spelljamming helm.
Oh, I got these plans myself, he says, while his plans for making a spelljamming helm are in his spell book.
And buried under the under the scrolls, you see a very heavy book called "The Journals of Sterling. What happened in the final years of Misra."
Ooh. He lifts it up and is like, well, this is new.
What's Misra?
Is Misra a thing in our timeline?
I'm sorry?
Is Misra a thing in our timeline? I haven't looked at the map in a while.
No, not really. Not something that most people would know about. But flip through the book. Maybe you'll see an answer in the first few pages.
Yeah. He starts flipping through the book.
Make an investigation roll.
He's happy where he's at.
Again.
30, no, 30. Yeah.
And oh, cool! New subscriber, awesome.
Whoa!
And yeah, I suppose I should be actually. Anyway, so it turns out, according to the author, that the first stage of civilization is also known, or at least at the time was known, as Misra. But since all of it was destroyed, there were no surviving records. So the author is doing his best to record everything that they remember about the civilization that was lost. And well, he still can.
Like, this is pretty cool. Guys, you should get in on this. This is a great read.
Let's all read it together. Story time.
Yeah.
Trots. Fits.
I'm sure the barbarian would love to just sit and read a book instead of smashing heads.
Yeah, someone. I'm hoping someone's keeping an eye on the fire elemental in my library.
Yeah, they're probably sat on a chair that is slowly turning to kindling. Bored out of their fucking mind.
I mean, this is what Rika's going to do until he stops finding interesting things, which is going to be a while. So if y'all want to do some stuff, go and do some stuff.
I kind of want to read this book.
If Amanda was actually here, I would probably be whispering in Starlet's ear to just start breathing fire on the books to get the wizard to move.
Is there any books that might catch our attention?
What are you looking for?
maybe a How about like anything on Saluna?
Have a look.
Or any of the other gods? What was that?
Perception or investigation, your choice.
Perception! Because I'm very good at that.
You find a book that has with the title "The Death of Gods."
Okay, that's not ominous. Look through it.
Okay. Do an insight check for me. Okay, so skimming through, you get the general gist, you get the general vibe that the book is painting all gods as oppressive, controlling, abusive assholes. But a great hero traveled to each of the planes and smote the gods, conquering their realms and setting themselves up as the new ruler of the lower and upper planes. This great hero's name is Brazzy.
Well, this is heresy. Key Warhammer background music.
Your heresy is this place's history. Remember, nothing we find here is going to affect our reality. So maybe don't get so worked up about stuff.
Okay, I won't get worked up. Goes outside and just starts a bonfire.
Burning the book.
Yep.
As you do that, you realize that this is a world without Grandma, Magister, and Havana.
You do realize that you are falling into the oppression that the book talks about.
Does that mean?
You are literally destroying you are destroying a piece of literature
that contradicts your beliefs.
Yep.
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
So you're saying I should not destroy propaganda from a devil who claimed to have become a god?
A, do you know here whether or not they are or not a devil? No, you do not. B, just because somebody believes something different than you does not make them any more or less right or wrong than you.
We live in a world where the embodiment of good and evil is a thing?
We also live in a world with a bunch of squishy people who think that they're, free. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not telling you not to believe in your God or not to follow their examples, but the moment you start trying to force it on people who didn't ask you about it, Kind
When
of.
have I ever started doing that?
I just burned a book!
Is anybody else looking through the books in the library, or is everybody watching the Keezer and Nightwatch show right now?
Blood Dancer will read through the books, probably trying to learn a bit more about the history.
Investigation or perception, your choice.
Let me see. I think Blood Dancer's perception is the better one.
Mm-hmm.
Perception, yeah, it's a +7. Nat 1.
You find a colouring book.
Ooh, a colouring book. Says Blood Dancer.
Somebody else has already coloured everything in.
Sad. I look again.
What?
They didn't even keep between the lines. Whoever did this was terrible at colouring.
Absolutely terrible. I'm gonna look
we
again.
Isn't
we
there
see
magic?
Marky with a crayon?
No.
Isn't there magic that could, fix that for you, Blood Dancer?
Thought you were busy harassing Nightwatch.
Yeah, harass Nightwatch. I'm looking for books to read. I got 23 this time.
There we go. You know what? Here, Nightwatch gets rid of the fire and throws the burnt book at Keezer. Here, believe what you fucking want. Ooh, Nightwatch mad. Anyway, on the 23, you see a book called Ishviar's Unity.
Reads.
And that you find out that the Elven lands were a place of chaos, bickering, arrogant elves. But one dragon who had studied amongst the elves and learned their ways and their magic knew of a better way, an older way, a draconic way. Now the land is full of reasonable, intelligent, draconic people.
Dragons are pretty reasonable and intelligent.
And they all owe it to the blood of Ishviar.
Does sound a little bit culty, but
Every religion starts as a cult.
I think you have that backwards. I think it's every cult starts as a religion. Or both. Anyway,
Oh. We Keith.
Yay!
what the hell just happened?
Somebody left and then they came back.
No, that was Kisa.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, what happened? Like, all of a sudden,
He left us. He left us.
I must have hit the wrong. I must have accidentally hit something on my laptop. Anyway, I was going to say, now that I'm done harassing Nightwatch, I was going to look for a book on sword fighting to see if there's a difference in fighting styles in this land than ours.
Go for it.
No, I find nothing. Not that it's a big deal.
You find a children's story about a knight that slew dragons and met his comeuppance.
This would have been very good.
How to quicken Rika's search. Okay. And what are you searching for again?
He's mainly searching for different types of magic, and the things that would have magic are either spell books or scrolls.
Uh-huh.
Generally considering, most times those two things are called magical. So I'm going to attempt to cast detect
Locate
magic.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
So
You,
I got the arc.
you see several pings in the library.
And that's what he goes. He picks them out, and then he'll set them down before finding others.
So you got a pile of you're making a pile of magical books and scrolls.
Yep.
Okay.
He's like, okay, gang, this is the quote-unquote most important stuff that might actually affect our world. Does anyone want to help me go through them?
Yeah, sure, says Blood Dancer, packing up the book he's been reading into a bag.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe there's a plane shift or time shift or something spell here.
Okay. So you pick up the first book on the stack?
Picks up first book.
Okay. It's called The Door to the Fae.
Ooh.
What do you do?
Reads.
You open it, and a pixie comes flying out. Bloody hell, I was in there forever.
There, spits out pixie dust. You're welcome.
No, I'm not.
What?
That's not my name.
Oh, what is
What's
your
your
name?
name?
I'm not giving you my name. Are you mad?
We asked what it is, not for it.
Oh. You can call me Pub.
Hob.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Pop. Kiza, I found your sibling.
Kaiser? Oh, fuck. Quick, open the book again. Page 52.
What? Why?
Just open it!
I look at Blood Dancer.
Slowly opens the book.
Page 52 appears to be a portal to the Feywild, and the pixie flies right in. You see beautiful... well, when you got it laid down on the ground, you see grass. But if you pick it up and look through it at a different angle, you'll be able to see the world around you.
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder why the pixie was so mad.
I mean, you're a scary fella.
I believe the phrase you're looking for is "I'm a scary bitch."
Nah, we don't want to insult any dogs, and he picks up another.
Okay. This one's called an Illusionist's Primer.
I think I have one of that set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I have the Fermenting Treatise. Huh. He opened it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like my book.
It's just got some basic illusion spells in there.
Yeah. because that's the illusion version of mine, which is the evocation version.
Mhm.
Grabs
It-
another book.
The next book is called simply Fog.
I'm not going to open that book. I'm thinking it has a fog spell in there.
That's probably a good call.
Picks up
And
another
one never knows what might happen in the obscurity of fog.
What school of magic is the book emitting? Because it could just be, it says fog, when in reality it's a fireball. Evocation! Like,
Where is it? Conjuration.
conjuration. Yeah, that summons something. Maybe let's set it to the side and we'll open up later.
Yeah.
And he opens up another book.
You open it without even looking at the title?
No. Oh, well, he's going to pick up another book.
Uh-huh.
That's the first step.
Yeah. This one is called the The Diary and Spells of Greta Faywell.
Greta, you say.
I'm sorry, what?
Greta, you say.
Mm-hmm. Greta Faywell.
Okay, I think that's Grandma's one of younger self's names. He opens it up. Like, ooh.
And yeah, you find out that like you're reading through the diary entries with intermittent spells. It turns out that her mother died in childbirth. That she and her brother were raised by their father mostly alone until a woman came along and helped their father out, and they got married, and shortly after the marriage she turned into a raging fucking bitch.
That's how a lot of marriages go.
Sorry?
That's how a lot of them end up.
But she and her brother had already discovered that the well on the farmland is called Faywell for a reason. It was infested with brownies, and the brownies taught the kids how to do various magical pranks on their stepmother. And this book is full of several of the mischievous spells that she was taught by the fairies are written down in this book. However, how much do you know about the story about Greta's story in your own timeline?
Not much.
Do you know how she came to be grandma?
I do not. Well, actually, wasn't it something to do with Raziel?
No.
No?
But anyway, regardless, it came to in the later journal entries, the stepmother gets sick of all these stupid childish pranks, decides that the children are responsible, and the only way to make all this magic stop is to get rid of the children. And she begs the husband to get rid of the children. But, and this is where it, for those that know the original stories, where it deviates from your history, he says no. So the stepmother basically the last entry describes the sound of a knife sharpening in the other room.
Yeah, towards the end, he's got a little bit of tears in his eyes. He's like, "Oh wow."
What you got there, Rika?
Yeah, he's been reading this in silence. Like, I found this world's a grandma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's almost as bad as you.
Right. Oh, there's where it went. There's where it went sideways. Oh, and it doesn't mention anything about. And then Quiza realizes she's about to say something, and shuts up again.
He eyes you, but he doesn't want to question Quiza. Quiza can kill him.
Yay for him standing up, indeed.
Yeah, so he leaves it with Quiza and is like, okay, what's next on the stack?
Lifts up next book. Looks at the cover of next book. What is next book?
Next book is seems to be just a collection of evocation spells.
List of evocation spells here.
Collection of, not just
Collection of collection of evocation spells.
You
Look
know,
at the spells. Is there anything that could help us get back to our timeline?
Not in that one.
yeah.
Okay. Looks for the next book cover thing.
Greta's Diary, Volume 2.
Ooh, opens. Found volume 2.
Wait, what do you mean, Volume 2?
Greta's Diary, volume 2, reads.
Okay, he wipes his tears away, like, maybe I judged too soon.
Turns out, the night the stepmother was sharpening her knives to take care of the children herself, the children were ready for her, mobbed her, and killed her.
Rika's like, okay, maybe I judged it. Had too soon.
Marceline approves.
But Greta learns a few more spells from the Fae. Helps the Hans and Greta help her father run the farm. When he dies, they take it over, and Hans moves away when he falls in love. Greta takes a husband who helps him with the farm. The journal entries become few and far between as clearly life gets busy and she has fewer time for spells. But there is one spell that she writes in there that's a little bit interesting.
Oh.
That she's found has been very helpful to make sure that her family stay on the right path. And it's a simple backtracking spell. A spell that allows you to undo the last 13 minutes.
He looks like his jaw drops like, huh?
The last what minutes?
13. You can go 13 minutes into the past.
That's he's like, wow. That's something we'll have to try. Not in this timeline. Because
Okay.
something that strong he feels like would grab the attention of one of the big three.
You choose. You
Uh,
choose next.
Last
He picks up a book? Yeah. He'll pick up a book.
You pick up a... Okay, so, yeah, there's only one book left on the stack, so you choose to pick up a scroll instead.
Yeah, a scroll would change it up a bit.
It's a... It's a... What's the word? Trying to think of the wording for this. It's an entwining spell, basically. It describes using two similar or preferably identical objects and basically using magic to make them essentially the same object as each other. So anything that affects one also affects the other.
I see.
There's a note scribbled in the corner of the scroll, and the scroll it almost looks like it's been torn from a book. It looks like a page from a spell book rather than a scroll. You might even recognize the handwriting, but the scribble explains that this could be used on something like a pair of bells, so that if a bell is left outside the house, it can be rung by people visiting the house, and the bell inside the house rings in sympathy.
Oh, that kind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was picturing something else, so that actually does help clarify. Huh.
Or you could hide a bell in your parents' bedroom and take a bell in your room and ring it randomly and annoy them in the middle of the night.
Doesn't have to be bells either.
Yeah.
Or other things. Ooh,
If
candle.
I cast this on Kisa and then I cast it on Malrock, what would happen? No.
They're not identical enough. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Plus they're not objects.
I'm not even. Yeah. Yeah. So he looks at it and he's like, "Oh, this is pretty cool."
Yeah.
And yeah. Does anyone mind if I eventually copy this into my spell scroll, or would you rather use it now?
If you're gonna copy it, can we do it later? Figure out what you're looking for, and let's go home or something.
Yeah, understood.
Please.
He's like, okay, let's get with the book over.
Last book This one is called The Adventures of a Planeswalker.
Ooh. This one he opens up like, has he ever heard of a planeswalker?
Roll history.
Yeah. It's like they're powerful things, but they're probably pretty damn rare.
Yeah.
28.
You've heard rumors that when spellcasters become powerful enough, they can walk between the planes, learning magics from various realms and gaining the ability to summon creatures from those realms at whim. And have even got into the habit of, or at least so you've heard, of competing against other planeswalkers with their collections of, with their library of magics, with their gathering of magic.
I'm back. Have we managed to find anything to help us get home yet?
He's just picked up a volume that's called the Adventures of a Planeswalker.
Yeah. He goes, no.
We haven't found anything yet.
No. But he goes, no flippin' way, and he opens up the book.
And the book isn't a proper book. In the middle of the middle section of the pages has been cut out, and set into the book is a deck of cards.
He picks up the deck of cards. Does this set off his detect magic?
Oh yeah, very strongly, and each card seems to be different schools.
He, without a single word, not a single word, he puts it back, puts the book in his bag. It's like, that's not going to help us. Because I'm assuming a lot of adventurers know the chaos of the deck, but he's like, I've heard of something somewhere. There's no way, but let's not test this right now. Yeah.
Force of nature.
Yeah. Okay, we got some scrolls to go through. Let's go through those.
Mm-hmm. A variety of different spells, but there is a single tattered planeshift scroll.
Okay. Well, this is what we need, guys. It's going to take me a couple minutes to copy this spell in. But this was what was needed for me to be able to round everybody up.
Saw.
Yeah.
Get back. The sooner I can get back to purging the land of Ibliots.
The spell, as you try to flatten out the scroll so that you can copy it into your spellbook easier, the vellum cracks. And the scroll splits into two.
Yeah, I know. Shit.
You broke it. Why'd you break it?
You didn't mean to. Do
Let me
they want to
check
have an ending?
Someone want to cast Mending on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Mending on it.
Okay. That particular break in the scroll mends back together.
It's going to take forever because each time it takes a minute. And it's like, and he's just going to keep casting it. And does anyone else have Mending to help me?
It may occur to some of you that it might be easier to use this scroll to get home rather than waiting for him to copy the spell out. And especially since it seems to be a particularly old, crumbly scroll.
Why don't you just
cracking and falling apart even as he's trying to copy it out?
Why don't you just cast the spell and get us home instead of, and then we can get you a new scroll from somewhere if you want it that bad. Instead of, continuing to break the scroll.
Yeah. He mumbles, "This is fucking bullshit," and he casts the spell. It only takes him 14 minutes once it's repaired to copy it.
Yeah, but it's going to take you 28 minutes to freaking fix it.
Yeah, but you know how rare this shit is?
You and 8 willing creatures link hands are transported to a different plane of existence. You can specify a target destination in general terms.
Cool.
Yeah. And you appear in or near that destination. If you're trying to reach... Alternatively, if you know the sigil sequence of a teleportation circle on another plane of existence, this spell can take you to that circle. Do you know of a teleportation circle?
I think I know where one might be in Rita's background, but there's no way he would ever go there, so it's just which was Old Lab, so he's going to just go to the temple.
Which one?
The Sun God Temple.
Okay. So, yeah, you specify the Temple to Paylor in the Ashwoods, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
In our original timeline.
Do you have a forked metal rod worth at least 250 gold that's attuned to your own plane of existence?
A metal rod? I don't think so. Yeah. So, like, see,
You have anything from your own plane of existence that's
I
worth
have
250 gold?
Yes, I do. Any of my.
Go ahead and hold that. It's fine. Alright.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's 5 of you.
Baby.
6 if you include Marceline.
1, 2, 3,
Include
4,
Noodle.
5.
I'm sorry?
8 if you include the guy Noodle kidnapped.
Well, I'm not including him, but we just barely scratched it by with her party. Because teleport is the same number of creatures, and we only just barely make it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
This witch's satchel thing has something like that. Like what? This witch's satchel thing.
So,
Oh,
The component power.
The tuning fork. Yeah, he's got stuff. It's fine. Honestly, it's not a component that gets used up. So as long as he's got a component pouch or a wand, he's fine. So you go from the cold, dark walls of the of this fortress library to the bright sunlit glade that surrounds the Temple of Paylor in the Ashwoods. After your eyes adjust to the brightness,
Oh no, they have the cloth.
we're home!
Hugs the nearest party member and says, "We are home!"
Yay!
Now,
Which of the two animals are we going after next?
I mean, first we should probably check, did we actually take care of Grandma in this timeline? And by the way, Night Watch, check your amulet.
Okay, Mama. Puts on amulet and listen to the voices of the scholars.
there are no voices.
Nightwatch does a calculation in her head, or can she do an insight check on like how like Quaze has been like taking magic items and putting them on her sword?
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, do an insight check.
Here.
Okay.
Oh, look at me.
Oh, no, your children.
If the okay, so you know that if Kiza's sword had managed to absorb all the magic from his amulet, that the crystal would be gone. But there's still a crystal. So there must be some other reason why it's not working.
I'm just gonna yeah. I get no signal. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
So either you've been either this amulet has been cut off from Grandma's network of amulets, or there is no academy.
Yeah. Hey, you mind tossing that to me for a sec?
Nightwatch? Are you gonna?
You have to ask Marcy. This is her necklace.
Marceline, can I see that, please?
Hi.
I'm just going to check it out. Use my magic on it. I'm going to use my magic on it to...
Malrock lobs yours at his at you.
I take it. I'm going to ritually cast Identify, but I'm going to use my class feature to cast it as its normal casting time.
So you're going to identify it immediately?
Yeah.
Okay. It is it is a shard of life glass containing concentrated magical energies. It has no specific magical properties. It is just a battery.
Nice. Okay. Just a battery. I'm trying to think.
Whatever bound spells had been on it are apparently gone.
Yeah. Can I roll the insight or Arcana to see if it's the trait, like the magical trace of the caster dispelling it, or the caster dying and the magic fading?
Sure, roll Arcana. Let's see what you get. Okay. So, from you're aware of, each of these amulets was like, none of them contained the magic. They were all just relaying the magics between them. It never contained any actual spells It was always just a relayed power source.
Okay.
But now it's not connected to anything. It's a relay without a network.
Yep. Okay, so we don't actually. Well, he's gonna give it back to Malrox. Like, well, it's not connected to the academy anymore, so that's something. But it doesn't mean that Grandma's gone, so we're gonna have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, it's a really high roll.
Yeah.
Putting her soul in a gem in your bag.
That part of her soul.
Part of her soul. Where else would her soul be?
In your sword, because we struck her at the same time, so half her soul went to mine and half went to your sword.
My sword doesn't take souls.
Well, it ripped into. Yeah. Well, she was going to magic, and yeah. And she was sure scared of your sword, so. I mean, now could be a good time to test what. Nah. Still too late.
Now that Noodle's back in the material plane and seeing these guys home, she would probably head back to the other two.
Yeah, she should.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, guys. Now that we're back here, I kind of have to report in to the other two members of Ghidorah.
She's going to have some very interesting information to pass on.
Okay, strange dragon lady thingy.
Thanks for the assistance.
I will let your dragon know that you are back in this realm. You're alright, and generally you guys were extremely helpful in dealing with Grandma.
So.
It is up to you guys whether or not you return to Gate, but I have to go.
Okay.
I can practically hear Kiza screaming, "Just go then!"
Bye, little one. Pats head. And flutters into the air till she's above the tree and goes big dragon mode.
Where was that shit when we were fighting? Rika says, watching it leave.
Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah.
So the question once again is, which asshole are we going after next?
Assuming Grandma's taken care of.
Yeah.
And that, well, Havana was defeated by the dragons, wasn't he?
True, we got Magister left. But the thing is, where is... Wait, Rika has an idea, and I gotta check something real quick.
Taking out undead is going to be difficult. They don't usually stay dead.
Rika has an idea!
Oh?
So do I. But that's another story.
He thinks back to a time when he needed to know about the orb and what it was.
The orb?
He thinks back, and he looks at Nightwatch. Nightwatch? I need you to describe Magister in the most detail, down to how thin his beard is. Any detail, no matter how minute, I need it.
Minute.
Okay. I just remember, should we get the Taylor Sun thing, or do you think the dragons kind of have that at their property now?
I thought that I thought the whole point of this was like when we finish this job, he's just gonna reignite it himself here.
Oh yeah, did Paylor take it back?
The orb of Palor that was hovering over Havana.
Yeah.
There is an orb at the top of the temple.
Ooh.
Yay.
Woo!
Shining like a little sun.
Oh, look at that.
Woo! Okay, so that means Paylor's good. And that means that job's done. And Rika looks up and screams, "You're welcome!" Before he goes back to Night Watch, please describe.
Okay. Night Watch will, I guess, go through everything that she knows what Magister looks like. And I guess also pulls out, like, any type of, like, I guess a messenger guild, like, propaganda stuff that they probably gave people.
Some of you that were living in the necropolis at the start of this campaign might have seen him.
They have seen him directly in undead form.
So, do you want to roll a history check to see how accurately you describe him? Or rather, how accurately you remember him?
Yeah.
Really
sucks. Yeah.
Malrock would have been there too. There we go. Okay. Malrock actually, as Nightwatch is describing him, Malrock adds several other details that... Oh.
That's Marceline. Somehow she got a 20.
Marceline,
Yes.
Marceline hasn't met him.
Yeah, Marceline was there for one of the interactions. She was there for the blow up.
For the what?
It's when the bomb blew up, she got really old, so she was there.
Oh, right, yeah.
And also afterwards, when Magister was confused on like why do you have a green child and can I eat it?
Right. Okay. Yes, Marceline adds even more details because she was so traumatized that she remembers everything.
Okay. I'm going to use the materials. I want to cast Legend Lore.
Okay.
You know what I'm looking for.
On Magister.
On Magister.
Okay. So, you get flooded with a deluge of data going back centuries to all the way back when he was just Jim Astor, the kid who the homeless kid who used to hang out with Hans and Greta, and even when he said he was going home, he would actually just sneak back to the farm and sleep in the barn. How he was there through many of the pranks, and how he was also there when the stepmother got so upset that she insisted that the father take the children into the woods, making them an offering to the woodland spirits so that everything can go back to normal. And him being the whipped little bitch that he was, he took the children into the woods, took them to a tree, said that they were going to camp there, and that he was just going to go collect some firewood and he would be back. And he never came back. And that he was there with Hans and Greta when they smelled gingerbread, and the three of them went to the house in the woods and met Grandma, and how they were introduced to the academy, and started learning magic from older versions of themselves. And the time gets confusing in this part of the flood of information as the lives of young the life of young Jim and Jim the graduate and Jim the professor all overlap with each other, and over that time he was studying, like, he knew that Hans was interested in immortality as well, but he was looking at it from a different perspective. Hans wanted to be godlike. Greta just wanted to know everything there was about magic, regardless of school. Jim wanted to... He didn't want to be a god. He wanted to be himself forever. So he studied on, like, every way that he could think of to stay alive longer. He studied the life of the elves. He studied every form of undeath that you can imagine. And he began, even as he was still alive, putting a little of his energy into magic items that would, based on his studies of spells like clone and magic jar, he would create his own versions of the spells to try and lock away little pieces of himself, so that if the worst should happen, especially since he was working with undead, he felt he needed an insurance policy that he would be able to at least partially come back. And one of the things he learned was vampires. The vampires can, unlike a lot of the other undead, a vampire can remain beautiful forever, providing that they absorb life energy somehow, whether that be in the form of blood or something else, some other metaphorical transfer of that power. They can retain their youth forever. But he had hit upon a snag. If you are made a vampire, you are enthralled to the vampire that made you. The only way to break that cycle would be to become the first of a new bloodline of vampires. And he studied all the different ways that one might become a vampire and hit upon an ancient text that described an elixir made from the blood of a solar dragon. And so he began his campaign to find and capture a yellow solar dragon. He was successful. He made the blood elixir and drank it and died. Thanks to the various phylacteries that he'd unwillingly made, he became a sort of vampire lich hybrid, but was found himself irresistibly drawn to the blood of the dragon, and found in himself gorging himself on what blood remained in this yellow dragon, despite the fact he promised the dragon he would free it afterwards. What followed was a war between vampires and dragonkind that most vampires don't. He even says, like, well, yeah, this isn't in a diary, this is a legend lore, but clearly the vampires themselves had no idea what started the war. They just know that their homes were being attacked while and rays of deadly sunlight from the solar dragons were blasting them apart before they had a chance to do anything about it. Likewise, the vampires would fight back and begin slaying dragons, and this war caused havoc, and Jim came up with a solution. He altered an orb of dragonkind so that it would call all dragons to the same location. He learned enough about geomancy over his years at the academy, and thanks to some help from Grammar, he drew the knowledge that he needed through the amulets to break apart the largest mountain in the chain of the Great Crown Mountains, encase the dragons in stone, and yeet them into space. So that the dragons couldn't cause any more problems. He then gathered together all that remained of the undead and brought them safely underground, where they couldn't disturb the living anymore, set up the necropolis, continued his studies, gained even more power, siphoned off some of the excess energy into yet more and more little trinkets that acted both as an insurance policy and a way to avoid godhood, and persists to this day as the Lord of the Necropolis.
You see, there's one thing about the moon that I want to know if Rika knows that I, as a player, discovered.
Oh yeah, the Orb of Dragonkind, which does contain a piece of his own soul, is one of the stronger of his phylacteries. Mostly as a side effect of him just using his own energy to alter the will and control of the orb, is at the heart of the dragons, and therefore at the heart of the dragon moon.
See? So, Rika, after screaming for... How long is this one? 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a lot of information to cram in your brain over 10 minutes.
He's he's jumping on the ground, and he goes, "We have to destroy the moon."
What?
Sounds great.
The cleric of the moon is going to be all over that.
I'm assuming you're talking about the false moon with the dragons in it. If not, we are not destroying Selena's moon.
Oh yeah, I obviously mean Selena's moon. He says, wiping off sweat from his face. Like, no, I mean the false moon.
Why do we have to destroy the dragon moon that you guys are calling it?
Because the dragons were at war with the vampires, so they'll help. And one of Magister's greatest phylacteries is in there.
Right. The thing is, in Chaipan, we have a clan with undead, and it has a few vampires in, and they get on fine, so... Gonna take some persuading.
Do I look like I care about the vampires in Chaipan?
But doesn't the soul has to reach those things for it to matter, doesn't it?
What says it's stopping the soul? It's just rocks.
No. If we capture the soul, it can't flee.
Do you need me to translate what Keezer is trying to tell you? Because I know what he's getting at.
Yeah.
Yes, please translate.
Okay, so the way that a phylactery typically works is that when you slay the lich, the life energy moves from the corpse to the phylactery. However, if during the course of killing said lich you imprison the energy within something else, it can't get back to its phylactery.
Oh, so do you mean like a jade lotus? Says Blood Dancer, pulling out one of his jade lotuses. You'd probably need something stronger than this, though.
Yeah.
Kiza will draw her sword. This sword was created specifically to kill the big three permanently.
Mhm.
Yeah, that looks like it would be stronger.
And he looks a lot more wicked than the pretty little
True.
Jade Lotus.
But if we destroy his phylactery, or destroy the moon which he's drawing power from, won't it weaken him for the fight?
Maybe, maybe not.
What's the harm? We release a couple hundred dragons, thousands, and they help us, and we can take out the whole undead city, or they don't help us.
Yeah, or they try to kill us because, they're angry at just everything now.
Because they've been imprisoned in a moon for centuries and they've gone insane.
Yeah,
Trying not to
Yeah,
metagame
true,
right now.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. Just them being angry from being imprisoned is enough, I think.
yeah, and they want to direct that anger at the ones who trapped them.
I don't know. I don't know enough about dragons. I mean, I've heard stories that in the past where they were just, angry and destroyed random shit. So it's
Maybe
really
it
kind
would be best to talk to a dragon. A dragon would probably know. Where's Noodle when you need her?
She's already fucked off.
But
Yep.
But you have been hanging out with a large fairy dragon for the last few days.
yeah, but this isn't just one type of dragon either. We got the evil incarnate dragons. We got the dragons of good. We have the dragons of the mind.
Hey,
And who knows?
Amanda!
Amanda! Introduce your character real quick. Come on.
Hug.
I'm Amanda. I play the one that I'm not sure is.
You are Scarlet today, the Magma Method, who managed to not burn down a library while they were.
So that's perfect. Who burns things but managed to not burn down a library.
Yeah.
To catch you back up, we looked through the library. We found some spells and old history, and we used a scroll of plane shift to go home. Since we got home, we found out the Orb of Palor is back. So we assume Havran is done for. We've used a spell of legend lore, so we know a bunch about Magister, and we know where... Know is a hard word, because Rika will have a hard time remembering, but we know where his powerful phylacteries are, and where his minor ones are. And we are thinking about destroying the moon. What's your thoughts?
That would be a bad idea because we kind of need the moon.
No, it's because we have two moons. There's the fake moon that has the dragons, and then the real moon.
It's the dragon moon he's talking about.
So we'd be getting rid of the second fake moon that isn't necessary.
Ah, she says.
The more thinking about it, I feel like we might do something bad. Is there a possibility we can like maybe just like
Let's break it. Jesus.
take away the magic of the moon, but not release the dragons?
Oh,
Well,
shit.
the orb is inside the moon, and so in order to get to the orb, we kind of need to get into the moon, and that would release the dragons.
How are we going to get there, or how are we going to break it? I mean,
Well, I look up at the moon. I got magic.
Who did
Oh.
we? Oh,
Scarlet.
Alexandra again.
Phone call.
Theoretically, I can maybe fly up there and then just come back with a scroll of teleportation.
I mean, I can see the moon pretty well. I can just teleport us there from now.
Everyone does like a history check on the moon.
I think this is getting way too. This is getting dangerous.
What's more? It's either we release the dragons and they either help us or they don't help us
How are you
And they're
going
causing
to
problems.
release the dragons?
by breaking the moon.
How are you going to break the moon?
Yeah.
I have a bad idea.
You see Rika doing
Scout things out first.
Okay, one at a time. Nightwatch, you said you had an idea.
A bad idea.
What's your bad idea?
I want to hear everyone else's first before I say mine.
Okay. Noodle, what were you going to say?
Maybe we could use a ship to scout it out from a safe distance first,
A ship?
and then make a plan.
Okay. And Rika, what were you saying?
Rika knows how to deal enough damage to break the moon, or Rika goes, dispel magic! The magic that's holding it together.
You still need to be within range to do that.
We get to the moon! We have got into space before. I have the spell to get to space. We have the materials, it's just, we want to crack open the moon!
So, on that note, Nightwatch and I were part of a group that someone that caused a giant sinkhole. That might be a viable idea to crack open the moon.
I'm not going back to the I'm not crawling to him asking for help.
I have an idea, but it takes a lot of glyphs of warding.
What was Nightwatch's terrible idea?
Okay. To be fair, Rika did give me like another idea. Okay, I have two ideas. One, I eat the moon.
How do you eat the moon?
Open up my chest and give it a hug.
You have sun glow.
You're not powered by life glass anymore, you're powered by...
Okay, yeah, then never mind. Okay, second idea. I can technically fly to the moon and then stab it with my sword to dispel magic.
Now, you do make up an interesting point. The reason why that worked before is because you had a life glass heart, yes?
Yeah.
Who has a shard of life glass?
Rico.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, how would we stop it?
Oh, wait, never mind. We should probably not do that. I don't want like another apocalyptic thing. Everyone who knows.
In theory, if we were to absorb the moon's magic, we would absorb the dragons with it, and then it would grow and grow because there's not enough metal on Earth to get to it fast.
Yeah, but, okay, assuming that it is high enough in the atmosphere where there's... Once it absorbs all the dragons, there's no more life energy to absorb. You're just going to basically have a life glass moon in the place of the dragon moon.
Yeah, That could be risky.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would... Yeah.
That doesn't sound like it'd be a good. That doesn't sound like a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But like I said, I know if we...
Magic tides. It might, yeah. As it comes closer to the world, it would pull more magic towards it.
If we... So this was a thought when I originally discovered that the moon was Magister's phylactery. So have y'all heard of those metal God's rays? That's what they're called.
It's not his only one though, but yes, God's rays. The flechettes.
Yeah, I was thinking of what if we make one in D&D and shoot it at it.
Okay. The reason why God's rays work, why those metal rods work, is because you're dropping them from a great height and allowing gravity to make them reach terminal velocity. When you're going the other way around, you're going to have enough power behind those things to have them break atmosphere.
And my thought was a bunch of glyph of wardings.
You're going to use glyph of wardings to try and make a rocket-powered ballista?
That was my thought, to break the moon.
Okay.
Remember that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do this right above Necropolis and destroy Necropolis as well.
You realize that the Necropolis is immense, right?
Yeah, but we know where the general, where the tower is. It's like...
I don't think you want to do this.
Okay, what's your idea to handling this situation?
Not trying to attack the moon?
Why? Question. During the flashbacks, did I see any Chaos Dragons get sent into the moon?
No.
No? That's at least a little better.
Okay. Give me a sec. Well, not that it matters, but... Oh, crap, that's only an hour. That's not going to be enough time.
Yeah.
So, Blood Dancer, what is in your sending to Tenrai? Noodle, you're muted. Can't hear you when you're muted.
Sorry, didn't realise I was muted.
Go on.
Blood Dancer would probably go, Tripanian advice needed. What would happen if a bunch of dragons got sent to a moon? I'm not sure how to word it.
What are you trying
He's
to
basically trying to ask what would happen if a bunch of dragons got sent to a moon. Like, what kind of dragons would be made, or what kind of land would they be met with?
Tanrai's response would be, that is a very strange question. Why do you want to know? How could we hope to answer that question?
What do we get?
Blood Dancer would reply, information.
That's going to use another spell slot.
I understand. Information could be useful for defeating an enemy of dragonkind.
Are you saying that the moon contains dragons?
Replies. No idea. Possible.
Okay.
If using another sending, if it did, what kind of dragons?
Okay, so it takes a little while to get a reply. But the reply does eventually come from the Emperor himself, casting a fresh sending to you, saying, I have heard tell in other worlds, in other timelines, that when dragons are forced to be in close proximity for long periods of time, they often fight one another, kill one another. Their energies merge with one another in strange ways. The merging causes eggs to spawn. New dragons are born in their environment that know no other life, surrounded by cramped conditions and death. If dragons had to tolerate that kind of existence for centuries, the dragons that emerged would not be the dragons that entered. They would be strange and probably quite insane. Worst case scenario, they would have merged into a single great worm.
Okay. Blood Dancer will say to the party, it's not recommended to go up into the dragon moon because the dragons in it are insane and extremely powerful and could possibly be Great Worm. Great Worm is an even stronger form of your average dragon.
As you say that, Rika looks down at himself and thinks, that shit sounds like Chaos Dragons!
Maybe we just leave the moon alone. Because we don't even know, even if we can figure out how to get up there, do we know whether or not we could survive there?
With the ship, well, Night Watch can survive on their own, but with the ship, I just need more gold. Yeah, we could survive up there.
Look, as much as like it's a crazy idea, Quasar, what were you gonna say?
Rika is obsessed with this idea, but go on.
As much as like I hate like there's a bunch of variables. If that moon is a phylactery, who knows what happens if we get rid of the other phylacteries and his main body? Maybe he turns into a undead moon dragon god?
Wait. Another fear of mine is, during the fight, what if he just keeps absorbing more energy from them that we're depleting?
We gotta think on this.
Because would he rather be a god or be dead?
Well, if you diminish him so that he has to draw upon his spiritual the spiritual energy that he has stashed elsewhere to restore himself, that's not going to make him godlike because you've already reduced him, you know?
Yeah, but if the dragons are still alive and they do in fact are a great worm,
Yeah.
And he absorbs that during the fight and keeps absorbing because we're pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's a risk.
Yeah. Absorbing his soul depends on being able to make a killing blow on him, but if he keeps pulling on the energies that he's got stashed elsewhere, then it's going to be a long time before you administer a killing blow.
I also don't want to fight a wizard that can't run out of spell slots. Because that's scary.
So, I mean, feel free to make an insight check, anybody. See if you can think of a way to combat a extremely powerful undead wizard who may be able to draw more life magic to himself, more death magic to himself to reinvigorate himself as you're fighting him.
I will give inspiration to whoever has the highest insight. Plus.
Okay, well,
That would be Night Watch.
yeah. Nightwatch already got a 21.
I'm gonna still give her an inspiration, and I'm gonna roll my own.
Yeah, might as well use it. What's the roll? What's the dice?
D8.
So add a D8 to your 21. Okay, it's a 24. Either way, it occurs to Nightwatch first. Oh. And also Kiza. That some sort of anti-magic field might be just the ticket.
Okay, new idea.
Oh, Beholder Space Program.
No, that would,
Magic.
That would be a heck of a lot easier than.
I hate to say it, but I don't have the magic to pull that off.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, but I just need to switch out some spells to do it.
Can clerics
As a bard, I could nab that spell as well.
bards can, and clerics can.
Yeah.
It's a cleric and
Well,
wizard.
maybe give a beholder a telescope?
I don't know if a telescope does that.
Oh my goodness!
I love that idea.
I mean, we could get a few beholders. I think Chaipan has a few.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they would just willingly work with you as a team.
No, but I imagine Chaipan has a few that like work in one of the clans as like a normal citizen.
Or that are Jade Lotus creatures.
Oh yeah. Oh, beholders. Those guys would come in handy. I think I know a few guys that have a couple.
What do you mean by have a couple?
You remember when I threw that monster into one of these, says Blood Dancer, holding out his Jade Lotus?
Yes.
Well, these things, depending on if you're strong enough, can allow you to control magical beasts. That monster I caught earlier would not allow me to control it, probably because it's stronger than I am, but...
Even sentient creatures?
Pardon?
Even sentient?
You know that in Chaipan that's greatly frowned upon, but you're Mazoku, so you don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Out of character, I remember the last time the campaign had a beholder in one, and it didn't listen!
Yeah, the thing is, generally we're not allowed to collect sentient creatures in these things because of the mental trauma it causes. But my clan is notorious for not following the rules, so a few of them do have sentient creatures. Not something I agree with, but I got to admit it's kind of funny watching a devil rage that you've got them in a Jade Lotus.
What did you say, Kiza?
I just went.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know somebody who would have a plan, but they're not there.
Dion?
Yeah.
Dion. Dion's probably going to be pressed into service against the party.
Yeah.
However,
Go on.
I did leave my familiar with them.
Well,
Don't ask.
would they have survived all the way through the different timeline? And would we have let the familiar stay because we know Deanne's not on the good side?
Pretty sure it's an invisible bat, so, you know.
Nightwatch has true sight, and we know her opinion with
Good point.
Deanne.
She doesn't have true sight up all the time, though. It is a spell.
Yeah.
It is a spell.
She's had it multiple times, though. And I've had blind sight.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But regardless, it could at least could be in this area because this is near enough to him stuff. But regardless,
Dion would know what's going on, is what you're saying, because he's been spying the whole time.
Yeah, that's my thing. I just don't know if the party would let him spy because he's Par Magister, and that would make the plans for the future of the party.
That's part of the thing I'm trying to figure out. Anyway,
Okay.
Can I die, Anthony, just for S&Gs?
Can you do what?
Just random luck.
You want to roll a d20?
I want to roll a d20.
Alright. To see if... Basically a luck roll to see if the bat was spotted or not.
More like if somebody just... It'll make sense here in a minute if it goes...
5.
It does not. Okay, cool. So yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
I still don't.
We just need to give it a goldfish comment that Nightwatch made. I'm not quite sure what that was in reference to.
Probably giving the beholder a goldfish to get it to behave.
Is that right? Oh, it was a reference to Xanathar. Very
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. I still don't think like messing with the moon is a good idea.
No, it's not.
Looks like the party's against you on that one, Rika.
Yeah. Rika wants it, but I won't go against the party.
But before we do, I would like to go to a town before we go anywhere else. But
what for?
I would like to do some shopping.
Do you want to go north to Scalbania, east-ish towards Traveller's Rest, or south to Radaman? Well, south to Branch. Sorry, Branch. And then Radaman.
I was gonna say I think Branch because there's a branch of a certain shop in Branch. There should be one in Branch, I thought.
Last time you went to Branch, who was in charge?
Fenrir?
Snaffy or Grayskull and the Great Heroes, but they were absent at the moment. Oh, sorry, Sue, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm just saying, I think it was Fenrir.
Fafnir. Yeah.
Fafnir, that's it.
Yeah. Braziel doesn't actually have a presence in Branch.
It's Baffy.
So Gate. Or Gate. So, are we going to try to find some way to go after the undead now, or are we going to try to find some way to block the magic, or what are we doing?
I think what we need is a good rest after all the stuff we've been through.
What do you mean? I'm feeling perfectly fine. I've got my magic reserves up.
Magically, we might be okay, but mentally, I think we need a break and a good few drinks in us.
So you want to find a tavern?
Rika spoke over his shoulder, looking at Scarlet, and something's in his hand.
Scarlet, are you responding to Rika's... Amanda?
He's a chaos dragon. This is like his magic item.
Amanda. I think she's dealing with children.
I'd
Oh,
probably just be like looking at him, like at least acknowledging it, but probably not really doing anything.
So, he's asked you if you want to play cards.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
What do you do, Rika?
You know what? Okay, this would be Rika's. This is in character for Chaos Dragon. He holds up the deck to you. Hey, draw a card.
Scarlet, do you draw a card?
Yeah, it's...
Okay. The card is called Sarah Angel.
Angel.
It looks like that.
Oh my god.
Are we dead yet?
No, because it's not a deck of many things.
Yeah. It's like, what card did you get?
What did I miss? I had to step away for a second.
Rika held out his deck of cards, clearly thinking that it was a deck of many things. Had Scarlet draw a card, and she drew a card that says Sarah Angel. Now, the card begins to smolder in her fingers.
He's like,
because it's cardboard and she's made of fire.
damn it. Well, they're magical. Can her fire destroy magic?
There's a reason why it's only smoldering rather than already on fire.
Fair. It's like, Scott. Yeah, he touches back like, wait, this isn't what I think it is. Like, what? Hey guys, have you ever heard of something called Sarah Angel?
No, but then I don't make it a habit of studying the celestial realms.
Angels are evil, end of, mutters Blood Dancer.
What the heck?
We just have... Yes!
Grew up in a demon cult. To me, they are evil.
We just had a discussion
Oh,
about
goals?
Yeah, you want to
So help me.
my God.
Um,
My watch, put your Bible or put your holy book away and quit trying to thump people over the head with it.
I'm going to draw 6 more cards. He
Okay.
has the gut feeling that's what he's supposed to do.
So as you look through the cards, you find 2 more creatures, 3 2 more creatures, 2 land spell cards that just have pictures of planes on them for some reason, and a card that describes a healing spell, that restores life.
Yes, Rob, that's exactly what I found.
Yes, he's found an angel deck.
Yeah. So the joke is, I found a deck in a book about planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Great. They can cast Identify. He's like, what the fuck is this?
Every single card has a different school of magic on it.
Yeah. That's why he thought it was a deck of many things.
Uh-huh.
He's going to do it on the Angel.
He's going to do what?
He's going to cast Identify on the Angel.
It's a conjuration.
Conjuration. Does it tell me how to activate it?
The card does.
God damn it, Anthony, I hate that. As a card player, I hate that. If you read the card, it tells you how it works, huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so since you've cast Identify, it lets you know that the symbols at the top of the card represent the power needed to cast the spell, and the description tells you what the spell does. Basically, this particular one summons a creature, in this case an angel. This particular angel has the ability to fly, and is basically still able to defend itself even when it's attacked. It's a fairly strong one, it's a fairly tough one, but you will need to be able to draw on the power of 5 lands cards, 2 of which have to be planes, to do it.
Hey! He sits down as, like, ignoring everyone else. He tries to play 2 lands cards, like, put them on the ground like you would for, like, solitaire style.
Mm-hmm.
Do they go down?
So you place them on the ground,
Yeah.
facing, like up, so they're sitting upright.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
I'm trying to think of it, like, as someone who's never played Magic the Gathering before.
Mm.
Like, what was my dumbass doing when I first joined Magic? I know what my dumbass would do. He checks the whole deck for every Plains card and puts them down.
Yeah. You place them all in the same orientation.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he sets down the angel like, aha!
What do you do?
He sets it down. That's what Rico would do.
He just puts the angel card down.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing seems to happen, but As you throw the card down, it does knock one of the planes cards sideways, and you feel a rush of energy.
It looks like, what the? Out of character. I have a question about the contents of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Recent Yu-Gi-Oh! They've started adding Magic the Gathering. They started adding a tutorial card, which basically said how things, the basics are. Is that one in here?
No.
No?
Remember, this was a Planeswalker's deck.
Yeah, which is fair. I just figured I'd be like, maybe it's in here.
Well, yeah, one of the cards, one of the planes cards has been knocked sideways, and there's a hum of energy.
He's like, what's this about? And tips another one.
The energy doubles.
And he looks at. I think he's smart enough with a 20 intelligence. He's going to tap 5.
And the Sarah Angel bursts from the card and flies above your head.
He falls back like, Jesus Christ! He's like, where were the incantations?
What's flying above his head?
An angel with a sword.
Blood Dancer hides.
2 swords, a shield, and it's a woman.
He shifts into a cat and hides under probably a knocked over pew or something.
What are you? Rika says.
I am ready to do your bidding, master. Where is the enemy I must attack?
He's looking down at the cards and up at it like, he's got the whole deck in his hand other than the land cards, like, huh?
Send me to the enemy. Who is your opponent?
Not really. No, he's not. He wouldn't do that. It thought it would have been funny to point at Kiza, but no.
Malrock suggests the undead.
Yeah, the Magister, the king of the undead.
She looks across. She looks in the direction that the planes cards are, pointing, basically, as if expecting to see, an opposing player with their own creatures, and she sees nothing. Just looks back at you, confused.
He's got the same confused look, like, what is this? And he picks up the card to inspect it more.
Do not discard me. I will prove you worthy. Just, I do not see your opponent. Are you playtesting the deck, Lord?
I guess I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You have not played this game.
I'd be happy to learn.
Fine. She sits and explains the rules of Magic the Gathering to you.
He's like, this is fucking awesome.
Marcy looks happy here in the game.
Like, this is... So this means that, and planes, are there more than just this deck?
Yeah, she describes how there are 5 types of lands, producing 5 different colours of magic, that the different colours of magic can summon different kinds of spells and magical creatures. that there are also artifacts which are colorless and can be cast with any kind of magic. That it's possible to even produce colorless mana magic. And yeah, she goes through the whole thing with you. It takes quite some time, but she says, after a while, she says, you mentioned your opponent, Magister. What is he? You said he was a Lord of Undead. He is
that's it.
Using a black deck, then?
I mean, his magic is pretty black, dark. He bestows curses on others and raises the undead from the things he kills.
Very well. What manner of undead? He doesn't have. He does not have Phyrexians, does he?
I don't know what that is, but he's got vampires. He's got ghouls. Lich is.
That is a powerful creature indeed.
Yeah. He's got powerful. And he's like. Artifacts, that's what you called them.
Yes.
Yes, he's got artifacts that keep him stronger.
He's got ghosts, says Blood Dancer, chiming out from under the pew before ducking back in.
Why do you smell infernal? Creature
No
who
reason.
hides?
No reason, ducks head back in.
Malrock has completely checked out of the conversation. Fair. Anyway, so they're continuing talking about a game. What's everyone else doing? I'm sorry?
Where are we exactly?
You're still standing in a clearing around the close to the Temple of Palor. You haven't moved towards any towns or cities. You're basking in the sunlight from the orb of Palor at the top of the temple.
Oh, gee. See if we can. I can find the. I guess you'd call it the attendant that we'd spoken to.
Uh-huh. So you head into the temple and see if you can find the undying guardian. Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know the top of my head either. But yeah, you pop into the temple. You see several much healthier looking attendants. Young priests and Templars walking around. Some of the forges around the temple even seem to have been lit and are forging armor and weapons.
Add that to my list to check out.
And
yeah, I'm trying to find like an attendant.
I see you have returned.
Yeah, we had to take the long way back.
Well, whatever you did, it clearly worked. But now we have work to do. The armies of undead are coming. We are safe here so long as the sun shines. But elsewhere, it does not.
Do you know how long they'll take to get here, and how we can either spread the light or prepare people?
You did not see them on the way?
I don't recall seeing them.
How did you get to the temple without...
Shit, what was the spell he used?
He's plane shift.
Oh, yes. We plane shifted here.
You were in another plane? Did you perchance travel to heaven and speak to Pelor himself?
Yes, actually.
That must be why. Praise be.
And I will show off my artifact of Sakar to kind of be like, and I talked to Sakar too.
Oh, that's nice.
Blood Dancer chimes in. Number one, Sakar is awesome. Do not shrug him off. Number two, I'm casting Sending.
Are you tattling on me?
No comment.
Do you have any fucking spell slots left to do sending?
Yes, I do. Not many, but I do.
What are you
Actually,
sending?
I've only cast Sending like 3 times, so... he's just going to give the Emperor the heads up on a possible undead army causing them trouble in the very near future.
I have to rest about apparently an impending enemy that's supposed to have walked our way here.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah.
This is not necessarily a bad thing if every member of Thingy's army is sort of like a mini phylactery, and we take them out. We could do some damage.
Yeah, we could do some damage. I guess now watch like walks in, still looking a little bit somber. Like, what's going on? Yeah, she walks into the temple.
Ah, the cleric of the moon.
Hello, I see that you are much more healthier.
Yes, thank you, dear. Yes. I actually heard my own heartbeat. Now,
That's good.
Very. The light of Pelor is invigorating. Now, your friend tells me that you all plane shifted here from heaven.
Yeah.
This is good. Your talents will be needed. The forces of undead gather around. So far they have not been able to enter the light of Pelor. But as long as they remain, we are cut off. Now, I may not need food or sleep, but many of the others are still breathing, and they require food.
I could help with that, maybe.
Oh?
Out of character. Would Blood Dancer be able to request aid at the Temple of Pelor, like food and maybe?
You don't think that the priests here would already have been doing that?
I have an idea. Do you have any crops that you're currently growing?
A few, but it takes quite some time for crops to grow to full maturity and be able to harvest them.
Non-issue. Just put me to the crops.
Very well. Gerald, isn't it? Yes? could you take this gentleman to our crops? Well, to the garden, you mean? Yeah, yeah. I can show you the food garden. We don't have much, but what we do have, you're welcome to it. And Gerald leads you to the small patch of dirt where they have planted potatoes and carrots and cabbages and stuff, but it's still mostly seed right now.
And plant growth.
Woo! Oh my lord, it's a miracle.
It's really not that difficult to spell.
Oh, I've always had trouble with spelling.
Have someone who knows how, or can learn the spell plant growth come out and do this every day and replant your seeds. You'll have a nice stockpile of food before you know it.
Well, that's marvellous. But, you know, at some point, some of us want to go back to our families and make sure they're still alive, you know? And we can't really do that with all the dead things around.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a spell that just gets rid of all the undead at the blink of an eye, but we'll work on something.
Oh, that's a shame. It's a crying shame. Oh, well. Yeah, tell me. Help me get these crops in. What are you talking about? We just planted those. You're not going to believe this.
I love it. This is how commoners should react to magic.
In the meantime,
I have a question Rika would ask.
oh yeah.
How do you get more cards?
Well, my lord, you would go to other planes and gather the magics to make the cards. That is how I was bound within the cards. How is it that you could walk the plains and do not know this?
Well, I also can cast spells, but not to the level of planeswalkers. That's usually beyond my scope. At least normally, once a day I can do it. But I also need to learn that spell sometime. But God, I wish I could copy the scroll.
Do you have... Have you yet learned the imprisonment spell?
I have not, but I might have it in my possession at this moment.
Well then. Now I also know that there are places where the planeswalkers meet and trade cards with one another. But I have never... I have occasionally been summoned in such locations for a friendly duel, but I do not know how to get there, I'm afraid.
It's alright. I'm sure I can figure it out in my own spare time, but you have been a world of help so far.
Thank you, Lord.
No offense. Do you just stick around forever, or is there like a time period?
When the game is done, I will be shuffled back into the deck. Alternatively, If I am defeated, then my card will go to the graveyard.
Okay.
And she would
And
have explained what that term meant.
Yeah. So, when you go to the graveyard, can I just shuffle you back in for the next game?
Once the game is finished, yes.
Okay.
Now, there are certain cards that would allow you to play cards from the graveyard, but they do tend to be black.
I see. Okay. Good to know. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, my lord.
Yeah.
Simply turn my card face down, and I will be dismissed.
Oh, he does that.
And she disappears. And you shuffle the deck. Shuffle the card back into the deck, I assume.
Yeah.
Gather up all the plains cards and shuffle them in too.
Yep.
Anybody else up to anything in particular?
Just notifying Emperor Guy of possible undead army.
I have quite a few issues to deal with here myself. We are dealing with... We're not quite sure whether whether this is rebellion or insurgency. Also, it is entirely possible that your friend is trying to turn my dragons against me.
Okay, I'll contact Miss Danger Noodle.
What's Nightwatch trying to do?
I was debating whether or not to do divine intervention to, ask Selena to destroy the, undead.
Roll it. Give it a try. D100. Roll a 15 or less on a D100. Nope.
Yeah. Expected. Yeah. I guess afterwards is just listening. Now, which is like having Marceline tell her, like, oh yeah, this is what the angel said, and she's like, such and such.
That's in range, isn't it?
Sorry, what?
That's in range, isn't it?
That's in range?
Level 15, so it should be 85 to 100.
No.
No, it's less than your cleric. Equal or less than your cleric level.
Opposite way, okay.
So 1 through 15.
Ah, okay.
Until you reach level 20, in which point it becomes automatic.
Okay, I had it the wrong way, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Which is... Yes.
Yep. Either way, Nightwatch is being very confused about hearing, like, is this card game imprisoning, like, sentient beings?
I mean,
After being retold information by her daughter?
I mean, they seem okay, like, it doesn't seem to hurt them. And they just chat, like, I mean, it's...
Like a person?
But she didn't seem upset about going back to the card, so it can't be awful, can it?
Did you ask her opinions on being a card in a children's game?
If only we had a powerful Academy of Adventurers to help us.
Well, it's not a children's game, because it's made by powerful archmages.
Yes, it is.
This is more like a godhood game.
Indeed. This is what happens to. This is what level 40 wizards go and often do.
So it's a power trip for them?
I mean, it might be a power trip, but I mean, it doesn't seem like the worst life. It kind of seems like what we're doing right now.
Standing around doing nothing.
No, being forced to fight a bunch of people.
Okay, that's one level of depression for Night Watch. Actually, she's been having it for a while. Make it level 6.
I think level of depression is equal to exhaustion.
Night Watch is realizing that she is simply a pawn in some larger entity's game.
Reek has known this, and he's been happy.
She's beginning to see the tabletop and hear the dice rolling.
No, this is wrong campaign. You are not playing Elizabeth. Night Watch, come back to us.
What's the matter, Night Watch? Did you finally figure out that for all of your grand gestures and whatever, that your life is utterly meaningless?
Well, isn't that cheerful? He'll reply for fifth like.
We are but dust in the wind, lasting but a moment, and disappearing from the annals of history.
Not to be confused with the annals of history.
I forgive you, and I hope that whenever you do die, you don't suffer that much.
Okay.
When I fall away, I shall have a great reward waiting for me.
Okay.
So,
Good luck for you, Quasar.
as you are posturing, and let's go. She gets burned alive by acid. A figure steps out from among the trees. A figure that some of you have never seen before, but some of you haven't seen in quite some time. The light of Palor shines upon the face of Dian.
Oh. I was expecting Magister.
Malrook says, "How can you even be here?"
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Blood
Who's that?
Dancer runs over to Deanne and just gives him a hug.
Does Blood
You
Dan-
passed right through him.
He's a ghost.
Who's the ugly guy?
That's Deanne. That is an illusion of him.
It's. I'm not an illusion, per se. I am fully capable of fighting in this form, if I need be.
I am the
As he's
god. Go on.
As he summons up the power of his Eldritch Blast and drops it on the ground, and it clearly works.
Wait.
Counter spell? No.
Well, it doesn't work on. Your Eldritch Blast has.
I know.
Repelling, doesn't it? Or is
No, I have no. The only thing I have is agonizing
Okay.
on him. He has none of the other things. His evocations are very different.
Cool.
So, you're back at this temple. What are you guys doing?
I learned a card game.
set out to restore the lake of Taylor, and now
Well, you did.
restored. And now an army of undead is apparently threatening to destroy this place?
Some of them are. Some of us don't care. It depends on which part of the necropolis we come from.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
So, why are you here, Dan?
Because I was out for a walk, and I just happened to stumble by here.
Please don't lie to me.
He's leaving the army.
Okay. As he, floats through the ground and back up in a different spot. Literally, I just happened to appear near here, and then I heard your voices, and I came to see what you were doing. Not like I was specifically looking for you, because you've been, I'm guessing, all over the place to get the light back, so, it's just a coincidence.
Nah.
Insight.
Go ahead and roll it. I'm not rolling anything on my end.
Roll either deception or persuasion, depending on what it is.
We're gonna go with persuasion, because I actually had no way of knowing exactly where they would be, so this would be more likely a random thing.
I mean, it's not completely random, because it's very likely that some of the undead scouts that are surrounding this place would have gotten some information to the necropolis. But, you know.
Well, it's the same roll either way.
Right. You are convincing.
Yeah. I took him back, even after he said he caused that earthquake.
So what have you been looking to, what is your next plan? I mean, yes, there's an army of undead trying to figure out how to stop the light here, but what is your guys' plans?
Tell me your battle plans so that we can respond.
Where is he, Deanne? We just came back from a long adventure. And I'm not going to tell you any of it, because you're no longer part of the group.
You're not on our side anymore.
I'm sure I was going to convince my legion to open up the way to the necropolis for you to march in and take the war to the leader while the vast majority of his army is up here.
Why would he do that?
Because him and his patron really actually don't like Magister and are not on his side.
Oh, you're okay. This is a coup. Gotcha.
He seems trustworthy. Actually, no, he did kill a bunch of people, if I remember right.
Well, glad to see you finally grew a spine, smiles Blood Dancer.
Technically, he's just doing his grandfather's bidding, but you know.
I mean,
yeah.
But you know, if you don't want my help, you don't have to take it.
Blood Dancer, I trust him.
Look, Deanne, I'm not going to trust you. You lost my trust a long time ago, so... Even if you do want to help us, it's for your own game and for your grandfather.
Yeah.
Just for clarity, your Legion of Undead here are wanting to help us. No, I think what he's trying to say is that while the Legion of Undead is up here, sent by Magister to try and wipe out the Temple of Palor, he is going to take you to Magister to knock him off while Magister's forces are distracted. Because Diane and his grandpappy don't like Magister very much and want to be rid of him.
Enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, the enemy of your enemy is leading you into a trap.
Oh, it is also probably a trap.
Yes, it will be strategically sound, but it'll sacrifice the temple. This is true. The chances that these ragtag militia, even with plate armor and swords, would be able to hold off legions of undead that Magister has collected for centuries. No.
Look, if the temple has been restored, or even if it hasn't, in a day or two, Nightwatch, you could bolster the defenses of the temple by re-hollowing the ground, making it completely unapproachable by the undead.
He does have a point. And I'm a bard, so I could probably get that spell.
There are, between that and the light of the sun god, this temple is incredibly well protected.
Yes, this is also true.
Still don't trust it.
It's only if the people are foolish enough to meet the undead head on that they've got a problem, really.
You don't have to trust them. It's an enemy of my enemy type situation.
Do you want to restore the balance to the world? Yes or no?
A balance according to...
Not to be rude, but time is ticking.
Right. And with that, because OBS has just had some connection issues anyway, this might be a good place to put a pin in it. And pick it up next time.
Interesting.
Sound good?
Sounds great. I'll have my deck ready by next time.
So, I hope you guys at home have enjoyed this as much as we've enjoyed playing, and that you join us next time we play. Please like and subscribe and click the bell to get notifications to let you know when we're playing again. And yeah, you can also come you can also come join us in the Games and Geekery Discord server and support us on Patreon. That would be fantastic. But in the meantime, no matter what role you play, have a good game.
Have a good game.